Susan is my cousin. The necklace she gave me was just a gift. Jacob answered the questions hovering in Kathy's mind all at once. He was looking into Kathy's eyes as he talked and watched her face go from tense to relaxed. A smile was brimming on her face, and Jacob couldn't help but smile at her. Kathy was, indeed, quite relieved, as if a boulder was taken off her head. How stupid was I to think that Susan was Jacob's girlfriend, she thought. Her relief and happiness didn't deviate her from the problem at hand, and she wanted to make sure that no one on campus gets Jacob into trouble. She felt that it was her responsibility to protect him in any way that she could, especially now that the son of the city's deputy mayor was involved. If Jacob and the others were to start a fight with Michael, they would be the ones to get burned, and he would come out of it unscathed. "I will come with you tonight and clear things up with Michael," she said again. "There's nothing to clear up," said Jacob, just as calmly as he did before. "When you're dealing with a guy like Michael, the more you let him bully you around, the more arrogant he becomes. This is the limit of entitlement. Do you think telling him that nothing is going on between Susan and me is going to solve this problem? Just because he wants to be with Susan, does that mean nobody else can get close to her? Just because he's the son of the deputy mayor, does that mean he owns the entire school?" Kathy was speechless after hearing Jacob's series of questions. Seeing that Kathy had nothing more to say, Jacob picked his bag and promptly stepped out of the classroom without a word. "Jacob, I'll go with you tonight," Sam, who was standing at the door of the classroom, called after Jacob and matched his pace. "I never said I was going to meet him," Jacob said plainly. Sam thought Jacob was backing out, so he said, "Don't be scared. I will call my guys. If Michael dares to fight us, we will fight back. Don't stir up trouble. I will fix my own problems. If I go, just because he threatened me, it will look like I'm scared of him, or that I'm obeying his orders or something," Jacob replied. "If you don't go, he will think you are afraid of him," Sam said angrily. It almost looked like he wanted to start a fight. "He lost in the race against me, so he is the one who should be embarrassed. Why should I be scared of him? If I was really scared of him, I wouldn't have competed against him in the first place," Jacob said. "Yes, let him wait on the field alone like an—" his other roommate agreed. The four of them went to the cafeteria for lunch and then went to class as usual. Most of the courses in the second year were foundational courses. The schedule was busier and the free time between classes was sparse. After repeating a couple of courses during the summer in their first year, Jacob and his friends didn't want to repeat the experience. They might as well cram now rather than wasting the long holiday. After finishing a class in Block D, all the afternoon classes were over. Like always, they were about to go back to the dorm, play some games, and finish up assignments before heading out for dinner. "You guys can head to the dorm without me. I have something to do," Jacob said to his roommates as soon as they walked out of the classroom. "What's going on? If you're not coming, how are we going to team up and play the game?" Sam complained. He had been planning his tactics during the class and was all set to make expensive bets during the game. "I'm sorry, Sam, but I have something to do. You guys have fun." Jacob waved at them and walked in the opposite direction. "All right, let's go. I'll call Kevin from next door and team up with him," Sam said to the other two as they started walking down the stairs. Kathy, who had just walked out of the classroom, saw the group splitting up and decided to follow Jacob. The thing that Jacob said he had to do was actually go to Susan's office and spend some time cultivating. Because of the intensive interrogation, Jacob missed his chance to cultivate last night. Fortunately, there were no classes in the afternoon after 4 p.m. today, so Jacob could stay in Susan's office for 2 hours to make up for yesterday's time. Jacob walked up to the F block of the campus, where all the teachers' offices were located. He walked up the stairs to the 4th floor and walked up to Susan's office. Jacob had no idea Kathy was secretly following him. When Jacob knocked on the door and entered Susan's office, Kathy was shocked. She stood there for a few moments, doubts brewing in her mind, and then she remembered what Jacob had told her. "She is his cousin. I have to believe him," she thought, and decided to leave immediately before anyone saw her. As soon as Jacob entered Susan's office and shut the door behind him, Susan said with her eyes closed, "You were being followed. and yet you had no idea. Followed? Jacob was slightly shocked. He opened the door and scanned the hallway, but he didn't see anybody there. Close the door. She has already left, Susan said lightly and opened her eyes. Jacob was perturbed as he closed the door. He turned around and looked at Susan. Susan pointed at the window, and the closed curtains started to open up by themselves as if they were being pulled by an invisible string. The bright light wiped out all the dubious vibes in the room. The greenery of the field, visible from the window, looked beautiful from the fourth floor. I have only practiced half of the spirit concentration scroll that Elder Liam gave me. I was hoping you could guide me. Jacob didn't want to waste any time. Okay, Susan nodded. Let me hear you recite the spirit concentration scroll. Jacob thought about it for a moment and started reciting it. The road to earth and heaven is wide, thick, high, clear, peaceful, long, and infinite. The sun, stars, and moon are the things of the world, containing the seas and the rivers, yet they never leak. Everything is contained. In one try, just like reciting a poem back in school, Jacob recited everything he remembered. He then looked at Susan and waited for the next instruction. That's it? Susan asked. That's it, Jacob replied. So, Liam only gave you the first chapter of the Spirit Concentration Scroll? It's no wonder you haven't made any progress after all this time. That old guy says he would take care of everything, but he is so careless. Susan complained quietly. She then said to Jacob, I am going to read the next 2 chapters of the Spirit Concentration Scroll to you. Listen carefully. Whether or not the validation is real, instead of guessing, open it and show it, or close it up entirely. Those who open it feel sympathy. Those who close it differentiates it sincerely. Whether to stay or to leave, it starts with one's ambition, such as yin and yang, like circle and square. If there is no shape, the circle is the way. If there is shape, the square is the problem. Nothing is predetermined. If things go wrong, the wrong path was chosen. Things aren't always right. Feelings and integrity are forgotten. Susan's voice was clear and crisp and was lovely to listen to. Each word that came out of her mouth felt like a pearl dropping in the ocean gently. Her narration was like a chain of pearls plopping into the ocean, one by one, calming his mind. Jacob sat down peacefully and listened carefully as he concentrated and memorized every single word. Almost 20 minutes had passed, and Susan finished reciting the last bit of the Spirit Concentration Scroll. Once she finished, she asked Jacob, Have you memorized all of it? Actually, Jacob wanted Susan to read it all over again. Not because he didn't memorize it, but because her voice was so lovely that he wanted to hear it again. However, he knew Susan wasn't someone he would want to mess with, and knew that he was fortunate enough that she was willing to guide him. Therefore, he didn't dare to push his luck. Yes, all memorized, Jacob answered honestly. All right, then you can start cultivating by yourself, Susan said coldly and closed her eyes to cultivate. If she didn't think Jacob was hardworking, she wouldn't have spent all this time reading the basics of the Spirit Concentration Scroll to him so patiently. Instead, she would have hammered all the techniques into his brain and gotten it over with. However, she didn't know that even though Jacob did not have the second and third chapter of the technique narrated to him before, he had almost reached the second level of the Spirit Concentration Scroll by touching the stone monument at the Dragon Temple. As Jacob shut his eyes to concentrate, he decided to give it his all.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.